Hello everyone and welcome to our code along about how to control a fish with your voice. In this code along we're going to make use of the machine learning for kids.co.uk site, which you will find the URL on the screen here. And when you get there, if you have an account you can log in, absolutely, but if you don't have an account it works absolutely fine as well, so don't worry about creating any accounts. In this task, we're going to use machine learning for kids. The first thing we're going to do is press the button that says Get Started and try without registering. Try it now. And in here, the first thing we need to do is to create a new project. Now, our project is going to be a voice recognition project. It's going to recognize the words up, down, left, and right. And we're going to use that in a Scratch project to control a fish moving on the screen. So we need to start by saying add new project and give it a name. And because we're going to be controlling some fish, I'm just going to call mine fish. And the project type is going to be recognizing sounds. And we're going to store it in the cloud. So our setup for this project is a name. So we're going to call it fish. You can call it whatever you like, but because we're controlling fish, it makes sense. It's recognizing sounds and we're storing it in the cloud. Once that's done, we press create. And we get our project window appearing here. Now in this project window, when we click on it, we are going to first of all press the train button. And in the train button, it's going to ask to use the microphone, allow that to happen. We need to record, first of all, what our environment sounds like. So what does the background sound like? And by default, it asks us this background noise one. So the first thing we need to do is to go down to the bottom of that box and it says add example. So I'm going to press add example. And when this pops up, you'll see the record button. And all I'm going to do is press the record button and just let it capture the sound of the room. And press add. Now I've got a couple of things on my desk here. I've got some pens, well you can see that. I've got my work badge, which makes a wee noise. I've got a wee packet of polos, which I might accidentally drop. I'm going to record those types of noises too. So back to add example, hit record. And then add example, record. Might be some mumbling in the background, but add. So I'm just recording what my background sounds like. And you need to record at least 8 versions of what the background sounds like. So add. So you're going to record at least 8 versions of background noises. The more you record, the more accurate your system is going to be. Once I've done that, we need to record our voice and train it to understand how we speak. So to do that, we go to add new label, and let's record us doing left. Press add, then add example, and we're just simply going to record us saying left at least 8 times. Left. Left. So again, we're going to do that at least 8 times. And remember, it's going to be used as part of the game. So if you just record yourself speaking like left, 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 it might not pick up on the fact that when you get excited, you go left, left, like that. So as many as you can of lefts. Then you're going to do the same for right, up, and down. So you add a label for each of those. right, up, and down. And for each of these labels, you need to add at least 8 examples. So in right, add example. Right, right. You get the idea. So at least 8 examples in each project. Okay, I will let you pause the video here until you've got 8, 9, 10 examples of each, and then you can come back. So if you pause now, and then we'll come back. So pause. And hopefully that's you back. So you should have recorded all your different background noises, your lefts and your rights. So you can see my example here. I've got 11 examples of background noises. I've got 10 examples of left, 10 examples of right, 8 examples of up, and 8 examples of down. Once you've got at least 8 of each, we're going to press back to project. And now we're going to get our machine learning task to learn how we speak. So what this is going to do when I press learn and test, allow. If I ask to use the microphone, just say allow. It's going to tell you how many examples that you've chosen. If any of those are below 8, it was not going to work. So you have to go back to your project and add some more until you've got at least 8. At this point here, what it's going to do, it's going to look at each of the examples of background noise and try and find the patterns in the background noises. It's going to look at the 10 examples of left and find the patterns in how I've said left, and so on and so forth. So we don't have to do anything here other than press the button that says Train New Machine Learning Model. And that's going to take a wee minute to do its thing. Train, train, train. And once you see the box that says Start Listening, you're then able to test your machine learning model. So to test it, all you do is press the blue button. I'll try and zoom in so we can see it a bit better. We're going to press the blue button that says Start Listening, and we're just going to start speaking, and we're going to see how well our system recognizes the commands we've trained it. So press Start Listening. Right, up, down, left, up, left, right, up, down. So you can see as I'm speaking, it's recognizing the words and telling me how confident it thinks it is. So some of the things I noticed, it wasn't like 90 or 100%, it was in the 80s. So let's try this again. Let's look at left, 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 left. So there's some of the phrasings of left that I'm saying that isn't quite as confident. So I might go back and try and add some more examples of me saying left. The other thing that you'll notice is that as I'm speaking just now, it's trying to recognize every word that I'm saying. So just now, it thinks what I'm saying is this, and it's 98% confident that it's this. But as you'll know, I'm not saying that word. What the machine learning model is doing is that it's applying its knowledge, it's what it knows. It doesn't know anything other than what we've told it. The background noise, the up, the down, the left, the right. So it's possible that if we use this machine learning program wrongly, it could give us answers that are wrong, because just now, all the words I'm saying are none of these things. But what it's doing is it's listening to what I'm saying, it's figuring out the pattern of my voice, and it's thinking, well, what pattern is closest to what I'm hearing? And it's telling me what direction it is. So again, just something worth thinking about when you're looking at AI systems. Anyway, I digress slightly. I'm going to press stop listening. After you've done some training and you've figured out if the words are being recognized most of the time, or if there's a few words that aren't being recognized, you can go back zoom back out a little bit. You can go back to the project and you can go back to train and you can add more examples if you need to. So if I wanted to add more examples of up, I can press add example. I can press add example. There we go. And record. Up. And add as many more as I want. But just remember, when you add more data, you have to go back to the project and press learn and test again. You have to always, but when you add more data to the knowledge base, you've got to get the system to relearn things. So press new machine learning model, and it's going to train it. We can go through this process lots and lots of times until you're happy that it's pretty much doing what you expect it to do. Once that's done and you're more or less happy, go back to project and we go to the third box, which says make. And this is the part of the system that connects the model we've made to our Scratch project. So by pressing that, press make, press Scratch 3, and press open in Scratch 3. You should be able to press the button and it should open. For some reason, it's not working for me today, but I can right click on that and say open link in new window, and I will get my machine learning for kids Scratch thing. Now you'll notice that at the top here, it says machinelearningforkids.co.uk/Scratch. This isn't the Scratch website as you know it. This is a version of Scratch that's connected to Machine Learning for Kids. And the reason why we know that is because it has that address. But also, if you remember, when we built our model, we said our project's called Fish, and Fish appears in the left-hand side here now. Down here, you've got a whole list of commands called Fish. And when I click on that, back out, and click on that, you'll see I've got this whole new set of blocks. When I hear left, when I hear right, when I hear up, when I hear down, then a few other blocks as well. These headers are essentially the boxes that you created, the labels you created, which means my Scratch project can now access that learning. For the purposes of this exercise, we're going to use a template to start to save us doing the coding for the full project. So if you go to Project Templates, and if you search for fish, you'll see there's a project called Fish Food. And if you press that, up comes this little project. And I'll zoom in to the code so we can see the code a bit better. And the code for the fish says they'll just start in the center of the screen, 0, 0, then forever always move 2 steps. And then the code for the apple just drops down every time until it hits the bottom. If you press run just now, this is what it does. It doesn't do anything. The point of this project is to connect our machine learning model and get the fish to move based on us saying up, down, left, and right. So to do that, make sure you're in the fish costume. Make sure you click on the fish Machine Learning for Kids instructions. And the first thing you want to look for is the command that says start listening. So you take the start listening command and you just pull it between the green flag being clicked and that first instruction, go to 0, 0. So this is now saying, go to our model that we made and start listening to what's been said through the microphone. And you can maybe figure out what's going to come next. Well, for each of the instructions, when I hear left, we're going to pull this in, and we're going to tell it, when I hear left, I want the fish to change direction. So I can go to motion, go to point in direction, flip that in, and change the direction to left. And I want to do the same for up, down, right. So go back to my fish, Machine Learning for Kids blocks, pull across when I hear right, motion, point in direction of right, which is already there. Back to my fish blocks, when I hear up, and when I hear down. I'm going to pull them both in. And you can probably figure out the next commands. So you go to your motion, point in direction of up, and then point in direction of down. Now just make sure your directions are correct. So make sure that when it says when you hear left, it is pointing towards the left. When you hear right, it is pointing right. Otherwise, you'll think your program isn't working, but you've just got your instructions the wrong way around. Make sure the directions are correct. And that's the basic model built. And we can test that. It sometimes takes a minute to kind of connect, so we'll see that in a second. So if I go to full screen now and press my green flag, what will happen is that it's going to start moving, and then when it recognizes what I've said, it's going to change direction. So let's press the green flag and see if that works. Takes it there. Left, up, down, left, right, up, down. That's looking pretty good to me. The whole point of the game is to try and catch the food that's falling, but my fish isn't moving very fast. So what I can do is you can use your Scratch skills at this point to change some of these things. So you can see here that my fish is always moving 2 steps. If I make that 5 steps, it'll move a bit faster. So I'm going to change the script to say move 5 steps. We'll test it again. Up, up, right, down, left, up, left, up, left, right. I'm so bad at this game, but you get the idea. So that's our basic model working. You can now spend some time figuring out, how you might make the game different or make it better. Perhaps you might want to add a score. So anytime your fish touches the food, the score can go up by 1. Perhaps you don't want it to be a fish. Perhaps you want it to be a submarine. You could actually go into the fish and choose the costume, and you could change that fish to be anything you want, a submarine. I'm going to leave that up to you, but if you got this far, well done. You've trained the machine learning model to recognize your voice. You've tested it a few times and you've updated its training data, and you've tested it again, and you've connected it to a Scratch project. That Scratch project will respond to the voices and the words that you have said. At this point, you can be totally happy and be done and think, that's me really pleased and finished. But if you want to do something different, why don't you try think about how to make the game more interesting? Can you add a score? Can you make the fish move faster? If you want to get really into this, you might want to think, well, actually, instead of just now, if we look at the food, if we look at the food script, it says when the green flag is clicked, follow those instructions. What would happen if we replaced the green flag with perhaps another one of these fish instructions? What if I wanted to say, when I say feed me, I want the food to drop down? What would you have to do? So you think about that. What would you have to do to make the apple only appear when you say feed me? Just now, the fish always moves 5 steps. What would happen if I had some voice commands that said fast or slow? Could I get the fish to move faster if I say fast, or slower if I say slow? So again, those things, the feed me, fast and slow, would be 3 new voice commands I would have to think about recording. So I have to go and record those, test them, and then when I open in Scratch 3, I could think about how those voice commands might activate different scripts. The point of the exercise today is to connect the model to do some machine learning. We're not going to go into the whole Scratch stuff about how to add different things. I'm sure you've all done some Scratch work before. I'm going to leave it here today, and I hope you found this useful.